Hello, welcome to another unique build. You're a builder, New Build City, NBC for sure, of course. And today I'd like to build a ski resort. Here we are on our Frozenshire map in our city, Glacial Streams. I already flattened out a little spot for some area, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some assets up here. I think what I will have up here is like a hotel or of some kind, like a nice place to stay, as well as, of course, the cable car and the end cable car. I already started with a nice road. It's going up our mountain, and we'll bring that all the way up into the summit area. I have a handful of assets kind of just sitting around at the base of the mountain. Just some ideas I want to play with. And I think we're going to go ahead and put the Santa Claus workshop up here. Move it a little bit because it's kind of hanging off the side. I said the goal of this is to make this into a nice, pretty ski resort. We're going to carve in some slopes, and I really wish, this is one of those things where I wish on console we had more than 9 tiles, because ideally I'd like to create something that took up almost this whole entire mountain instead of this little piece at the end here, but we gotta live in the system we're in, so we're gonna do the best we can with what we have. What I want to do is add a handful more of those. A couple of those cabins. Look what's up here. This little fire pit. So just kind of bringing some stuff up here just to get an idea of how things are gonna fit together. We're gonna bring some park life DLC stuff in here, so we need to bring that park life zoning up. Do a little bit of terraining. We're going to add some of the cabins from the natural reserve up here as well. And just a nice little spot to stay. Don't fall off and die, because we do have kind of a cliff there. And we'll end up putting some fencing up and stuff like that to kind of help folks from once again, it's a shame we can't own those tiles and blend this mountain out a little bit better, but this is kind of what I want to put up here, so it is what it is. And now that the summit is got some nice assets up here, let's just take a quick look and see how it came out. It's looking pretty good. The next step here is to start carving in some ski slopes, or snowboard slopes if you want. If you're a snowboarder instead of a skier. I spent quite a bit of my life skiing in the northeastern part of the United States. Always enjoyed it. It was a little cold. Here we are blending the slopes up. This is all I'm really using here is I'm just getting some leveling, using the leveling tool to kind of pick some levels, and then using the slope terrain tool to kind of slope up to those levels to help create the kind of like a tiered step slopey type look. And this one I'm kind of envisioning is going to be like that, we'll say blue square to green circle difficulty. So not a super difficult trail. Usually the ones on the outside of the mountain are a little bit more gradually coming down, a little bit longer. Nice long green, like I said, greens and blues. For those of you maybe who ski United States, I think it's pretty standard, the colors. So here, at least in the northeastern part of the United States, where I did much of my skiing, they have kind of like the bunny hill, which really doesn't get, I guess, a rating. You have the green circle, which is your beginner trail. Then you have your blue square, which is your intermediate level skill. And then you have your black diamond, which is would be expert, and then double black diamond, which is even more difficult for that. And of course, what determines kind of like the difficulty of the run is the slope, as well as kind of the terrain itself. So you could have a black diamond like we're going to create in here, where the slope isn't that bad, but maybe it goes through the trees. So it could be maybe even a green in terms of slope, but they make it a blue square, or it might be like I said, a blue square kind of slope, but then they have a lot of trees in the way that you have to kind of carve your way through. And we're just creating some more runs for our skiers. It's a shame we can't actually have just like the golf course. You can't have like a ski resort DLC kind of thing, like you do like the Park Life DLC. Like it couldn't be like an add-on to that, where you could then make paths and have people actually ski that mountain and stuff. I enjoy skiing double black diamonds that were steep and fast. That was the kind of skier I was. I never really cared much for like moguls and that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed just hanging on by the seat of my pants and flying down the mountain. Somewhat like uncontrolled. Like a semi-controlled descent. That was always fun. And I enjoyed the terrain part, kind of doing some jumps and stuff. So we're going to add some trees here, and that's going to really help define the individual trails. Kind of make it all kind of come together. And create a couple cross trail paths. Because a lot of times, especially like the bigger mountains that might have like 100+ trails, there's a lot of like interconnecting trails, so you can kind of get from one side of the mountain to the other. And here I see a beautiful spot to create a waterfall. So you know what? That's what we're gonna do. You know me. If you watch my channel at all, you know I like creating water features. One of the highlights of my life, really. I mean, I just think they look gorgeous. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna sink down a hole, put in the freshwater outlet, and this is one of the probably best things from the Natural Disasters DLC. So if you don't have that, folks always come on my stream and ask, you know, what's the best what's the DLC to get first, or the best DLC and all that stuff, and I always tell them I'm torn because I use assets from everything. I usually recommend the Mass Transit DLC, a lot of the transit options and some of the roads that you get. But the Natural Disasters DLC, although I don't really play with disasters on, has a lot of nice assets, just for like props and stuff, as well as the freshwater outlet is like, it's just an awesome asset that allows you just to move water in the city very well, of course, and that's what we're doing here, creating the waterfall. And we're going to create the little riverbed for it to go through. See the water coming? And got some little bridges for our skiers to kind of ski over the top as well. Time to work on kind of like the center part of the mountain. we'll eventually be getting rid of some of these power lines. So I'm just kind of creating like levels that we're going to try and hit. It's starting to take shape now, for sure. Usually the middle of the mountain is probably the steepest because it's like the quickest, most direct route back down. Now the side of the mountain is really starting to take shape, and so is this run. It's looking really good. Or with trees, it'll help define the run again, once again. A nice little tree border will help it stand out a little bit. So you can kind of see where we're going through. And it looks like we're going to have a main trail that comes down the mountain here. And then it's going to branch. You can go left or right. Then in on the kind of like the middle or the left side, we're going to add a handful of just little trees. Not too much so that we lose kind of the trail itself, but just enough to be like, here's a handful of obstacles in the way. Maybe this is a little bit more challenging. You know, like I said before, maybe this is a little bit more challenging one where it's a blue square. But it's really actually a green circle slope that you got to go through the trees to get through. Those were always my favorite runs. I love skiing through the trees. And our side is getting pretty close to being done. Looking pretty slick so far. Now let's go ahead and work on kind of like we'll say the middle and left side of the mountain. We'll create probably another, I'm thinking maybe one or so runs in here, 1 or 2 runs here, and then maybe another 1 or 2 runs on the left side of this kind of like spine or ridge of this mountain. And we'll have them kind of cross over. So we're just starting to rough in some shapes, and then we're going to fine tune it here in just a minute. I'm just taking an overview of where I want to go. And I think we're going to cross it from left to right here. And then we're going to have a trail that kind of comes straight down underneath the, I think it's called like the double bridge. I'm sticking it to one side here, so we don't feel like we're going to fly into the road. Looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and give that a little bit of a slope as well. Maybe we'll come in from this side. Add some trees to kind of define where we're going to go. It makes it a little bit easier to see what we're trying to do. In here, we're going to end up putting a half pipe. Trail come down there. The trail goes underneath that first bridge. Let's do that for now. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. I'm going to raise this whole entire area up, because it's a pretty far drop. So I want to bring this up. There's going to be a half pipe. I mean, I did the best I could. I tried to experiment a little bit with some roads and stuff in here, some different pathings, just to like try and get a little bit more defined hard edge, but it just didn't look right. So I think I think it was going to be stuck with something like that. And this will have to take liberty with our imagination. Let's pretend it's a half pipe as best we can. And we're just going to create some crossover trails so we can kind of get from one side of the mountain to the other. Give people a couple of different ways to get down the mountain. Like I said before, a lot of slope tool. So this will give you a lot of practice in using terrain tools if you aren't already a master of them, as well as a lot of leveling tool. But everything's starting to take shape. And it's a good amount of work to get it right. But I can definitely see it coming along. There's our entrance to the half pipe. I'm just going to fill this all in. Make this part of the mountain. Let's move it around a little bit. And border the trails so it's a little bit easier to see. Now let's go ahead and finish up this bridge area. So what I'm using here is the information booth from the Park Life DLC City Park, as well as the monorail cable or track, however you want to call it, to make it look like a ski lift. Let's change the orientation a little bit. I kind of want the line to go right over those hills and have it come down to about here. I'm going to make a nice little like platform for it to sit on. And we'll make it somewhat straight. Now, since we have the fire helicopter depot and the police helicopter depot in the city, we could just leave them alone. No one will ever go to them because there's no way for people to get there. But they shouldn't have any problems with like police or fire or anything like that. Burn it down. One of my followers used their points to name the ski resort Broke Neck Mountain. Thought that was pretty funny. We're gonna put a second ski lift in the kind of like the center of the mountain here. We're gonna use the same technique we just used. Use the information booth. We'll put something down here towards the base of the mountain on the right. Let's go ahead and just find some of this real quick. That way we can say this looks pretty good. And maybe on the left here is going to be like the bunny slopes. This is where the beginners go hang out. They didn't learn to do their pizza french fry moves. I don't know what they call it for snowboard. But for skiing they call it pizza. You put the skis like a triangle, and french fry was put in parallel. You know, put the cable car in. Where about is that going to land? So I'm trying to figure out here. Again, I get the guide there. No, it should be about perpendicular to that line. Of course, the game always likes to have fun. You can't put it exactly perfectly center. But do your best you can, of course. There you go. That looks pretty sweet. Oh, we got our cable car in, and then I got a handful of assets down to the bottom. Well, the ski resort is complete. As you noticed, I cut out quite a bit of stuff as far as placing a lot of the assets, just because I know the video is getting pretty long. And let's go ahead and just take a look at the final results here, and we'll go over the different assets that were used in the build. So that way, if you want to do something like this, you can. But as you can see, we have our ski resort kind of tucked into a nice little ski village. Did a lot of detailing, brought some more water in, got a beautiful cemetery that we'll probably do a cemetery build as well. So we have this building down here, which I believe is the Snow Castle restaurant, tucked in here with some of our high density stuff. Over to the left we have the snowmobile track with a couple campsite number ones next to it, just to kind of give some people nice little cabins to stay in. Got our service station and restaurant from Japanese Creator Pack as like our main ski lodge, where maybe you get your ski rental stuff and your ticket. Got ourselves a sleigh ride, as well as some nice pathing in this cross country ski park. And I think we have like the igloo hotels in here. Yep, because they're hard to see. As well as, like I said, some nice cable car runs going throughout the city to bring people in. And we got this a nice high density European suburbia mix for some places for people to stay. Got some water with some fishing. You can go up the nice dirt road, or what winds its way, goes across these nice wooden bridges up to the summit of our mountain. And of course up here, we kind of talked about this earlier, we had the spa hotel, a handful of these ski lodges, Santa Claus's workshop, a couple hunting cabins, and some lookouts and fencing and stuff like that, just to have some folks who maybe stay up here if they like one too, and helps generate some foot traffic up in here as well. And some folks are using the cable car, almost 200 people, it's not that bad. Of course, we got our trails that goes down the right side of the hill, or the mountain, and we got another trail kind of comes down little bit more difficult. Cuts over, goes down. Then we have like our third kind of main trail, a little bit more difficult still. Maybe we got Black Diamond that crosses over and then comes down. A nice waterfall in here. Then we have a trail that kind of comes down like the middle, almost like switchbacks. Then you have two options. You can either go to the right or maybe go through the trees on the left. Then we have a trail that kind of goes down the center over here on the mountain. That comes to like our second ski lift. That can go across to the right, join up with those trails, go across to the left, join to the left, or kind of come down the middle where our half pipe is. Goes underneath that the two bridges, and of course there's another trail that kind of starts up here, comes down. You get to the left and goes across the mountain. You hit a couple different places, and this is like our little bunny slope, maybe a beginner area here where the terrain isn't so bad. And we have pathing in here. I've like different like natural reserve park assets in there to kind of jump power and stuff and bring people in here. Here's our towards right where the ski lodge is. We got like this, we'll call it a pretend ski lift that kind of comes up and takes us kind of to the middle of the mountain. We have our cable cars, and on the right here we have a terrain park. Of course, our cable car goes up to the top. That looks nice. Got a terrain park in this area here where people can do jumps and ramps coming off this slope. Got some fencing to help keep people from falling off the mountain. I know there's some sharp edges here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the build. I really enjoyed building it. It was a lot of fun. It looks gorgeous in the city, especially tucked into this like little ski village. I wish we could do more. Wish we had more tiles where we could expand something like this even larger. I hope it inspires you to do something like this or even something better. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing. Become a member of the NBC family. We'd love to have you. If you like it, consider leaving a like. A thumbs up is always great. It helps, of course, promote the video so other people get to see stuff like this. If you'd like to interact with me, stop by Twitch. My Twitch link is down below in the description bar. Shoot me a follow, and come say hi and let me know, what kind of things you're doing. And like I said before, I hope you really enjoyed the build. I really enjoyed building it, and I wish you guys the best and brightest cities that you can build. And as always, happy building.